It's a lot of times learned behavior. We have seen people around us as we were growing up displaying these traits, and we kind of pick them up without realizing that they are narcissistic traits. If you look completely at the root of a narcissistic trait, you will find a lack of self love. It starts with letting go of the pain that you hold within your heart. Namaste, everybody. I'm doing this kind of a video after a very, very long time. I don't know if you remember, but Instagram had a feature called IGTV, and that was when I used to share my thoughts or my life experiences. And I'm doing this after really long. And I'm inspired by quite a few videos that I came across um, where people sort of misunderstood and confused self love with narcissism. And I wish to share my perception, my understanding of what I think both are and how they are so very different from each other. All right. So, firstly, on Valentine's Day, I was inspired to post something about self love and how it was my experience where I felt like I couldn't even perceive or allow um, any sort of love into myself, into my being, without creating space for self love. And I truly believed I was someone who loved myself. I really thought I was that person. And back in 2024, actually in February 2024, 1 year ago, I started to encounter this obvious phenomena in my life where there were very many repeating patterns. So there were a lot of experiences that I would have which would repeat over and over again, and it got to a level where I really wanted to introspect and figure out why I'm experiencing those patterns repeatedly. I mean, for 40 plus years of my life. And I came across self love and I said, I don't need to work on this. This is, I have self love. It's okay. I have good enough amount of it. And something like an intuitive voice told me to explore that. And as I started the journey, I actually started to understand the various levels that exist, that hold a human being back from truly exploring just love in general, and how enormous and magnanimous it is, and our human brains and hearts almost cannot even fathom. A lot of pain, a lot of experiences in life, and trauma, and a lot of painful experiences hold us back from truly experiencing the purity of what love is really like. Now, what is interesting is at the bottom of narcissistic traits that I feel all human beings have. Many times it's a masking of fear, many times it's a masking of insecurity. All of us display a lot of traits. It's a lot of times learned behavior. We have seen people around us as we were growing up displaying these traits, and we kind of pick them up without realizing that they are narcissistic traits. And what I understand from that is just being so consumed by yourself that you are unable to encompass another human being, another energy, any other factor around you in the circumstance, because you're so consumed by yourself. And I get how this can be confused with self love, because self love could come across as being consumed by oneself. but that's not what it is at all. And a beautiful way of understanding this is narcissism के एकदम नीचे आप अगर देखोगे, if you look completely at the root of a narcissistic trait, you will find a lack of self love, a complete opposite sentiment of self love, almost hatred, and lack of just not caring for oneself. And that is what you will find at the bottom of narcissism. Whereas with self love, the top of self love can never be narcissism. It's always generosity, kindness, thoughtfulness, pleasantness, politeness, and beautiful sentiments that actually emerge because there is a beautiful root which allows a human being to recognize other energies in equal and almost greater proportions. Just I don't know if greater is the right word to use, because that holds a comparative status, but just something that you value so much, like so deeply, because you value yourself. So what would one do to ensure that they are coming from a space of self love and not narcissism? Is to dig deep. There is no other way. There is no other way. Self care practices help a lot, journaling helps a lot. But from my personal experience, let me tell you, it starts with letting go of the pain that you hold within your heart. And what held me back from truly, completely, unabashedly experiencing love within myself, respect, regard, honesty, so many beautiful emotions, trust, I realized all of it was missing because I was carrying pain. I was carrying, memories that did not serve me anymore. And all of us do that. All of us do that as we grew up. We had life experiences, and as a result of those experiences, we are carrying memories, we are carrying judgments, we are carrying um, a lot of anger. And only when you start to get rid of all of these painful burdens that we carry, nobody has asked us to carry them. And a lot of us almost identify our ego, our identity with these pains. And we feel like if we let go of the pain, who are we then? Who are we exactly? And there is so much complexity in this area. Therefore, there are these traits. I wouldn't just generalize and say narcissism, but there are these traits that come out that in the most funny and strange circumstances, we only want to think about ourselves because we are not thinking about ourselves when we need to think about ourselves. So in the strange, in the most unexpected situations, we are unable to see anyone on the outside because we're so holding on to ourselves. I could actually cry. It's something that like strongly feel for, and I hope I'm able to articulate this beautifully so that you are able to connect with what I'm saying on whatever level that you wish to. And I wish you the best journey with making space in yourself, within your mind, your heart, for love.